Hello and welcome to a cold and wet Bayford Meadows for the first round of the Winter Cup. You'll see I've qualified here down in 10th, and that's because on my fastest qualifying lap I actually managed to bin it and crash the kart on the penultimate corner. So I'm going to hope to try and make some ground back. Now I'm relatively confident that I'm a bit quicker than the karts around me, although you wouldn't think so going through that first corner. I'm just getting to grips with where the grip is at. You can see some areas of this track are still very damp, but in other areas we've definitely got a dry line emerging. So not everyone is really confident where to position the kart in terms of taking the dry line or the wet line. And you can see the karts up ahead are scrapping, which is going to lead to me hopefully having an opportunity. Getting very close now behind this kart. Going to try and get into his slipstream for the high speed section coming up. There's definitely still some damp patches around which are unsettling the kart in key places, and the kart ahead is going to fall victim to that right there. You see I have to take avoiding action, which basically brings to me to more or less a standstill and puts me last but one. So lots of ground to make up now. It's going to be difficult to salvage a result from this race, so I'm just going to do what I can. See the driver ahead is already looking over his shoulder. He's clearly very nervous, so hopefully that is going to play to my advantage. Still taking a fairly wide line into that first hairpin, because I'm not entirely sure where the grip is. You can see he's gone too deep and he's lost control there. That's opened the door and I've managed to squeeze through and get position back. So I think we'll skip ahead a few laps now. Managed to hunt down the next driver. Let's see if we can grab a few more points and make the overtake stick against this guy. A little bit of sun peeping through the clouds now. Still very cold outside, so the water's not evaporating very quickly. But you can see already some areas of the track are definitely lighter. Again, he's gone too deep in that corner. That's opened the door, I've got the inside and managed to claim the position back. And that's pretty much all she wrote for race 1. So hoping for a better result in race 2. Somehow managed to qualify even worse in this one. So I'm starting P11. Let's see if I can do a better job this time around and hopefully avoid getting taken out. Pretty poor start, gotta be honest. See if I can tuck into the slipstream here and take advantage of some fighting up ahead. So you have to swerve there at the last moment to avoid making contact with the kart ahead. And now a driver up ahead does spin, and that puts the two guys on my right out very wide, so I can steal a tasty 3 positions there. Thank you very much. Now I have gone a bit wide there, so the driver in the black and I think neon green suit has managed to sneak up on the inside. And we're skipping to the end of the race now. This is the final lap, and you see I've gone defensive on that final corner, run over the water, and that has put me well wide, and right at the last moment I've sacrificed 2 more positions. Really stupid mistake from me there. So final heat, I'm starting 8th this time, slightly better but still not great really. Let's see if I can get a good result in the final heat. The lights have gone out. It's a good start. I think I'm going to jump this guy on the right. He seems to be wearing exactly the same helmet and suit combination as the driver ahead of me. Or maybe I'm just blind, I'm not sure. In any case, I've made a place off the start. Let's see if I can get any more. There is going to be more squabbling up ahead. So all I've got to do is stay in touch. Now, as this race went on, it did become fairly clear to me that whilst this kart was fairly good in most areas of the track, it really did struggle on this first corner at the end of the pit straight. I had to drop a hell of a lot more speed than the other drivers just to get round the corner, and that did sort of compromise me in a few positions where I wasn't really able to capitalise on being in the slipstream behind other drivers. You can see there is quite a lot of scrapping going on here. I'm on the outside for now, and then the driver ahead loses it, takes out another one, and I'm able to steal another couple of positions. So at this point it's all going rather well, but then I make a mistake here. I go way too deep into this corner, puts me out on the damp stuff, compromises me in this corner where I again go way too wide, and that's allowed another driver to sneak up on the inside here and take the position from me. And so begins a lengthy battle with black and green suit man number 2. Managed to stay in his slipstream here, and you can see how powerful that is at this circuit. But then look what happens on this first corner. I just can't stay with him. I've got to drop so much more speed. Managed to gain a little bit of speed, a little bit of time on him in that hairpin. Gone a little bit wider than him on the entry to this corner, and now I really am right on his tail. Let's see if I can use the slipstream to find an opportunity here. He's very aware of his surroundings though. He's not going to allow me to sneak down the inside. So I'm going to position myself back in the slipstream. Actually have to lift a little bit here just to make sure I don't go in the back of him. See that river still running across the track there. Now I'm reeling him in, and I have to let him go a little bit. That wasn't too bad actually that time. Didn't lose too much time through there. Maybe he's going a bit too defensive. Staying with him through the hairpins. Not great traction out of that one though. I think he's going to gain a little bit of time on this short straight. But I do think I'm a little bit quicker through this section. And hopefully we'll be able to rejoin the slipstream in time for the main straight. Still not particularly confident through that penultimate corner because of that river running across the track. It really does unsettle the car. We've made him go very defensive there, and that is one of the few times that I can really get through that corner and apply some real pressure. I haven't done a particularly good job of it though. You can see he is very nervous though. Taking that wider line again. Doesn't seem to have worked this time though. You can see he is pulling away a little bit, at least until the slipstream kicks in. Now you can see he's been unsettled by that river, and I think this is my opportunity. And in my moment of enthusiasm, I forget that my car really doesn't like that corner. So I end up losing a lot of speed trying to do the wall of death around the outside, and that has the effect of bringing the driver behind right onto my tail. I'm going defensive now, and that's going to push me deep into this corner and allow him through. So another mistake for me really. I probably should have backed out and just gone back into that position behind the white helmet driver rather than trying the impossible. I'm hopeful though that these two will squabble and hopefully open the door for me. See, I'm getting a double slipstream now. And that does tempt me to have a look down the inside, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to have to back out again. And again, that wasn't very clever, was it? Because I've lost a load of traction and given away potentially the opportunity to dive through the inside should the driver ahead open the door for me. Just like that. You see, if I was just a couple of meters closer, that could have been me. In any case, I'm back behind the white helmet driver. He's going very defensive there. And we are getting quite close to the end of the race now. So I'm going to have a do or die moment, I think, if I am going to get past this guy. Back past this guy, in fact. If it wasn't for that mistake earlier, have been in this position. Anyway, final lap, and again I've overcooked it into this corner. Tried to take too much speed, and look how much ground I've given him. So now that's actually, taken the pressure off him and allowed him to think about having a go at the driver in front of him instead. Maybe that's going to allow me back in, I don't know. Let's see if we can reel them both back in. Definitely a little bit quicker through that section. But no, it doesn't look like they're going to battle each other. And there's not much opportunity through the following corners unless the driver makes a mistake, as I did in the second heat. So even though we are a bit quicker, it's not going to work out. So, opportunity squandered, I think. The net result of all three races puts me 8th out of 11 in class, behind the only other Alan that I've ever met in real life. I was thinking that I was all by myself for a while. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.